Mike's Daily Podcast.
Oh my God, people leave this room in an utter state of chaos. Welcome to Cafe Anyway, it's Mike Matthews. Oh my gosh, the headphone level was at all maximum volume. I basically am deaf now. Thank you to the idiot who was here last night. Oh. Hey, welcome to Mike's Daily Podcast. It's located...
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont, the last place on earth. And I think my hearing...
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I don't wear an earring because I am not a pirate. I don't really get why people can't freaking be considerate for the next people. The Bay Area is full of that kind of evil. People that are just, they don't care about anyone else.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
It is the most me only. Got the Me Too movement? It's the me only movement here in the Bay Area. And
Mike's
I'm getting sick of it.
Daily
I'm seriously
Podcast.
considering moving back.
Yeah!
Back to Alabama. That's right. Because at least there I could drive without getting into frickin' traffic. People were considerate. It's ridiculous here. You get this mentality, this entitled mentality in the Bay Area. And I felt it in California before when I lived in Southern California. But not to the level I feel it in the Bay Area. It's just driving me nuts. Ugh. Look who just walked in. Hi, Mark. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How you doing?
That's a disgruntled fiddle player. Tell you what.
What?
Alabama would like to have you back, Mike. They would love to have you and sit you down and maybe feed you some delicious grits.
Grits. Wonderful. Look who else is walking. Hi, Mark. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. I'm back again. You went outside and came back in, huh? Yeah, because I couldn't believe it's actually raining and whatnot. It is raining and whatnot. Right now in the Bay Area, a little rain is coming down, and it's just enough rain to annoy you, but not enough to make you go, ooh, oh, wow.
No way.
It's just enough. Oh, look who else is here.
Hello, Mike. I make the delicious root beer. Have some root beer right now.
And here's today's podcast picture.
I will show you the podcast picture after I have the delicious root beer from the Brewmaster. Thank you. The podcast picture is of me and the wonderful Basil the Boxer when we were at the Alameda last week. Alameda a week ago yesterday. Actually a week ago today. Yes, on New Year's Day. It was. Can you believe it's been a week since we've had 2018? And Seth Green, Seth MacFarlane, Seth Rogen, Seth Meyers. I knew it was one of those Seths. Seth said, welcome to 2018, where marijuana is finally legal and sexual harassment is not. And everybody laughed and clapped, and that because we knew it was going to be about sexual harassment, the Golden Globes, and I could give a crap about the Golden Globe Awards. I don't watch TV. I told you I canceled Netflix a week ago. I'm done. In fact, I've been watching some fantastic stuff on YouTube. As you may or may not know, I am a humongous fan of Doctor Who. Oh, by the way, forget about what I was about to say about Doctor Who. There's this really... It's called Sailing Doodles. And it's these people that go sailing, obviously. And, I have to play this. So that's like the Doctor Who theme song, which sounds like synthesizers, right? The only thing is, this theme was made back in 64. I always forget when the show started. 64. And they're using like humongous keyboards to make this sound, which is hilarious. But this is still the theme today. They still use that. It changed a little bit when I was watching it as a kid in the... Well, actually, you probably know this one. This is the most... Well, actually, this is the most recent one, is it? It's one of the more recent ones from maybe 4 years ago. But my favorite one was the Tom Baker one. They had this cool Sailing Doodles. If you watch it, it is all about these people that are sailing and they go to cold destinations, but lots of bikinis are involved. Oh, here we go. Sailing Doodles. And it's like this girl that looks great in a bikini, and then this older guy whose hair is still trying to be blonde, but he's having difficulty. Love that. When I would hear that song, I'd be like, oh, I'm watching a show that I do not understand what the hell is going on. So enough of that. My point being, what I've discovered in this world is there are your personalities. Let's say Trump, for example. Can I get like a Trump?
I'm really rich.
Thank you. He talks about himself a lot. He was talking about himself a lot this weekend. He said something to the effect of,
I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
Well, that's what he was talking about, how competent he is because of that book that came out that said he is not. And he said, I went to a bunch of colleges, I'm really smart, I'm a reality TV star, I made billions of dollars. And then I kept expecting him to say after all that, not to toot my own horn. Wouldn't that have been fun? If he, next time he talks about himself, which will be in like 2 seconds, if he ended it with, but not to toot my own horn, or if he started off that way, it'll be funny if our president says that. Look, that's my point. So he was defending himself being competent because apparently in the book, a lot of people that work for him say he's incompetent. And then I have so many, I don't know what to call this show today. Here's some of my thoughts. I might call it Grits. We talked about grits at the beginning because I might move back to Alabama. But I only move back to Alabama when you're gone, Baz. Because I'm not taking you to Alabama would be too much for you. You love California too much, and I'm not going to move back. Not to mention, it's so expensive here. It's really too expensive. And the taxes are ridiculous, and you pay for waste management. Oh, this happened on Saturday. I've had so much to say to you, my friend. And I couldn't say it yesterday because we had to get to the interview with Irene, the Intuit interview, and hear some of her great music that she's come out with. And I have to talk with her every couple of months. I think twice a year is what we've been doing. And I talked to her like a year ago, so it was time to catch up. It was fun. But you can hear that on the Super Secret Sunday show. But on Saturday, I get up, I'm in the kitchen, and they always take the trash on Friday, right? They didn't take the trash on Friday. They completely left it. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. That was last weekend, was the New Year's Day weekend where we got delayed a day. So why is it still happening now? And then so it's Saturday morning. They're finally coming to pick it up. And I see the guy pick up the trash from my neighbor to my left, John, who listens to the show. Hey, John! I think maybe he listens to the show still. And then the guy driving the trash truck, drives right by my house. Just completely passes by my brown garbage bin. The one that I can throw anything in, and I don't have to get yelled at because I put a plastic bottle. Oh, you put the plastic in the compost and you shook it all up. You lime in the coconut Harry Nilsson reference, which we referenced on the Twitter thing Irene Pena and I did on her Twitter. Music by Irene. We had a funny chat about Harry Nilsson. Okay, no. He just drove right by my house, left my trash. I watched it happen, and it's not like he couldn't see it or anything, because there was another trash bin right next to it. So there were recycling bin was right next to it. He deliberately frickin' he hates me for some reason. So that's what my point is that there are personalities in this world, like Trump, like in radio, there are people that I work with that have personalities, okay? And they have in the background that are helping them do like good work, good shows. My point is, there are very undisciplined people in this world with huge egos, huge popularity that I will never ever see in my lifetime. And they are being held up. They are being held up by people like me that are disciplined, that work their butts off. Okay, there's a show we have on one of the stations I work for. All I do is produce the show. But it's two women, and one of the women has left the show. But she basically set up all the interviews. She made if the other girl was running late, she would take over the show and start off the show. Basically held the big personality person up. Well, this person left, and now the big personality person can't do a frickin' thing. And I doubt she's going to be able to do another show on her own. Just my point. And that's all I had to say. Grit! I might call the show Seth today, too, because of Seth MacFarlane, Myers, Rogan, whatever his name is. I did use Rogaine for a while. I'm not going to lie. I used it not the best use of money, because it did nothing. It made peach fuzz on my head. Oh my gosh, there's no point to have peach fuzz. Just shave it off. What are you holding on to? Stop it. Done. Don't embrace your baldness. It's great. You can put hats on. You're aerodynamic. You come out of the shower when you shave your head. You come out of the shower feeling clean. Do you think you feel clean now when you get out of the shower? If you shave your head, you come out feeling like a bar of soap incarnate. You feel amazingly clean. That's why people call bald guys like me, white guys like me, Mr. Clean. Because we are so clean. There's just, it's wonderful. I can't even tell you. And so Trump is now calling Steve Bannon Sloppy Steve, and I love that. Because he should have been called Sloppy Steve from the beginning. The guy he looks like he just woke up on a bench. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Matthews is a comedian. He woke up on a bench. Sorry. All right, so Golden Globes, let's zip through that real quick, and then I gotta wrap up the show, because, I don't know. It's Monday, and I gotta prop up egos. So, Sunday's shiny Best Picture trophy will go home with the people behind either Call Me By Your... Wait, what? It says might be... What? Behind... This isn't even... Why did they even... Ugh! I got duped, ladies and gentlemen. I thought I was going to get Golden Globe results, and now I just don't care. I do know Oprah had some big speech. She said a couple things, and perhaps this volume will turn on.
To speak their truth to the power of those men, but their time is up.
Oh, yeah, she was talking about the woman that was raped. I forget her name. And then apparently the guys that did it never were brought to justice. And that was like a big part of her thing. Now we move on to another. That was the Golden Globes, basically, and that Seth Meyer, Rogan, McConaughey had a speech, or he hosted the show.
All right.
Then apparently Bannon apologized, but it was just a statement. It wasn't. Was it really him? Was it? And then the initial talks are underway about Trump interview in the Russia probe. Yes, anticipating that special counsel Robert Mueller will ask to interview President I'm just going to call him Don Trump. The president's legal team is discussing a range of potential options for the format, including written responses to the questions, in lieu of a formal sit-down. Okay. Personally, I like the talk show format interview, because then you get that reaction from the audience. There was a fire that broke out in Trump Tower, started at just before 7 a.m. in New York is where this happened. If you didn't know where the Trump Tower is, okay, that's happening now, apparently. So, the firefighters working on that. And finally, let's see. Trump said something yesterday about maybe we can get a talk with North Korea finally. Since North Korea is going to talk with South Korea. And, alright, the show's about over. Because I'm feeling the effects of not getting any sleep last night. Because the rain woke me up. Can I tell you, though, I woke up earlier than I should have. I was going to go back to sleep. But I started listening to my wonderful dog, Basil the Boxer, snoring. That is the funniest... No, because the way he snores, it's like he's having a conversation. Because it's like... You hear all these sounds that you never heard a dog say, like he's doing all the inflections and stuff like you would have in a sentence, or if you were doing a podcast. But there's a little snore sound effect before that. Isn't that cute? As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley. Here's to you underneath that setting sun. Here's to you underneath the sun. Do you know it's not Christmas time anymore, and it's the first week into 2018? Meltdown Inspector fixes arrive but don't solve anything? What? This according to Wired. A pair of vulnerabilities. We talked about that with the chips. And let's see. So how's it going? The United States Computer Emergency Readiness Team and others initially believed that the only way to protect against Meltdown Inspector would be total hardware replacement. The vulnerabilities impact fundamental aspects of how mainstream processors manage and silo data, and replacing them with chips that correct these flaws still may be the best bet for high security environments. In general, though, replacing basically every processor ever simply isn't going to happen. Now they recommend apply updates as the solution for Meltdown Inspector. And as I talked about on the Friday show, you need to be apprehensive about apps. Applebee app. Because tonight's going to be a good night. Everybody's saying we're not affected, or hey, we released patches, and it has really been confusing, says this guy that works for the security firm Threat Modeler. And in the security community, it's hard to tell who is the right person to resolve this and how soon can it be done and resolved. Rapid response. Meltdown, a bug that could allow an attacker to read kernel memory, impacts Intel and Qualcomm processors and one type of ARM chip. Intel has released firmware patches for its processors. So Intel's working on it. And has been working with numerous manufacturers like Apple and HP to distribute them. Intel has also coordinated with operating system developers to distribute software-level mitigations. Patches are already out for recent versions of Windows, Android, Mac OS, iOS, Chrome OS, and Linux. Now, I know my Windows updated and took like a freaking hour to update, so maybe that was part of it too. At any rate, that's the world that we know. So enjoy your world today. And my only way to wrap up the show is to say, listen to Mike's Daily Podcast in a myriad of areas. There's the MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com that will link you to all the places I am on. I'm on Tumblr, Twitter, YouTube, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, all over the gosh darn place. So check it out, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com, and all the past podcast pictures. And you can help out the show through the PayPal link if you would like to do that. Next show, we're going to have the wonderful Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley. Oh, I got up so early. When? It's true, though.
Oh my god, no way!
That was episode 1530, 1530.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Email Mike now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!